Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's town hall meeting for ITSkillsCenter. We are live. Just buzz everyone on the group. If you are here, just quickly buzz them on the WhatsApp group that they should join us now. We are live and we're about starting. My name is Apoy Emmanuel and we are kicking off now. So just quickly buzz, kind of buzz them on the group. Those who are not here, you can just drop a message on the group and tell them that is to join us quickly. We'll just give them like roughly 60 seconds to about 2 minutes before we kick off, right? So let's give them some few minutes. Yeah, good evening, Joshua. Welcome, Joshua. Welcome, Yusuf. Welcome, Samuel. Kingsley, I can see you. Shadrach, Chima, Kingsley again. And then we have Ifine, welcome. And then we have Udikam, we have Ukoma John, welcome. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. And let's get started to our town hall meeting tonight. Uh, so let's get started. Someone is saying on the group that is it the only one saying this? Yes. What was it saying? Okay. I'm not sure. Can someone drop the link of this YouTube stuff on the group so that everyone can join? We are kicking off right now. Let's get started. Welcome, Felix. Yes, good vibes. Yeah, Felix, welcome. I love that. Just give them a bit of 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then we can kick off, right? So tonight is going to be fun because we're going to be showing you a lot about what will be happening in the next few weeks, exactly what will be happening in the next few months also. So I want you to be very attentive and very pay attention to all that we'll be doing tonight and all we'll be saying. Let me kind of bring up my slide while we are waiting for others to come in. Just a few seconds now. So guys, can you confirm you can hear me? Is my audio very clear? Welcome, Belo. Just drop in the chat box if you can hear me very well, if you can hear me clearly. You can drop a message in the chat box if you can hear me very, very clearly. I mean, if you can hear me clearly, can you confirm that? Yes, Kingsley, thank you. I can see your message that you can hear me clearly. Thank you very much. So I'm going to share my screen right now so that we can start off. Awesome. Welcome, Agnes. Welcome, Belo. Awesome. Thank you guys for hearing me clearly. I hope my audio is clear. Shima, welcome. Kingsley, welcome. So let's dive right straight into this. Like I said, tonight is a town hall meeting. We're kind of doing an introduction. What will be the rundown, the roadmap for IT Skills Center Bootcamp Batch C 2022. So this year alone, we run this bootcamp twice a year, 6 months, of course, as you know already. It happens twice a year, and we have this every 6 months. So you guys are the batch C taking place this year. So we just want to give you a heads up of what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, what you should pay attention to, what you should be, how you should prepare to participate, so that you will not fall behind the others in the coming weeks, how you should get ready, prepare your mind, what you should be looking at, seeing or expecting. Sort of prepare your mind across all the weeks and all the days so that you can be a part of those that will scale through to the boot camp. Shadrach, we can't hear anything. I'm wondering why you can't hear anything. Others can hear me clearly. Guys, can you confirm that you can also see my screen? Can you guys confirm you can see my screen? This is what you should be seeing on my screen now is IT Skills Center Bootcamp Batch C 2022. If you can see my screen and you can see that message, I want you to just say I, or I can see it in the chat box. I want you to say that in the chat box quickly so that I can be sure that we are ready to go live. So we have about 14 persons on the call right now. Let me just still kick off so that the others will join us. We have just about 30 minutes on this town hall meeting before we take questions, and then we will wrap it up for today. Right, so yes, Agnes says she can see it. Thank you very much. Obina can see also, so we will just go ahead and start straight away. So like I said, welcome again, everyone. Welcome to IT Skills Center Bootcamp 2022, kicking off in November. And this is like a roadmap. So we have like a preparation that happens like 2 months before the bootcamp kicks off. And if you're going to scale through to the bootcamp, you have to participate in these preliminary stages of the application process. So that's why we organize this town hall meeting where we can give you a rundown of what is going to happen, and then you can be a part of it. So the first thing you want to know is, let me just show you the people that are graduated around. So a set is going to graduate in October before you guys come in November. But these guys that you're seeing on your screen currently are mostly working right now. So they graduated around April. Yeah, I think they finished around April. April this year. They came in October last year, and then they graduated around April this year. They were about 18 in number, and most of them are currently gainfully employed. Just a few of them are still people that are not so that didn't do so well in the assessment are the ones that are not employed right now. But those the best students, most of them are doing very well. In fact, two of them I think are traveling out. Emmanuel told me he resigned his job the job that we got for him. It was one of the first few persons that got a job, that we got a job early this year. And then, he's worked with them for about 6 months. And right now he's relocating outside the country. He's gotten a foreign job that he's applying to go take up. So that's, I'm not showing you this to give you a hint of where we are and why you should be a part of this bootcamp, because it's fun, it's exciting. A lot of people are going through the program, they are graduating, and they are picking up jobs. So you should be a part of it. So who are we? Let me give you a quick introduction to who we are. You need to know us and the people that you are dealing with. So this is IT Skills Center, IT Skills Center. And what do? We simply build mobile apps and web apps that work. There are a lot of companies that build mobile app and web apps in Nigeria, but most Nigerians don't even believe in giving projects to Nigerian developers because they believe that our mobile apps that we build don't work. But IT Skill Center is different because we try as much as possible to work with the best and the smartest mind out there, which is some of you guys that are on this call. We work with the best minds and we build apps that actually work. And some of the things we've done, in the past, we show that we've done quite a lot. So if you want to know a little more about what we've done, I'll show you in a few minutes. But let me just give you a rundown of who IT Skill Center is and what we do. IT Skill Center is a software development agency. We are based in Lagos, Nigeria, and what we focus on really is to solve people's problem. We try to automate business processes. We try to use design thinking principles and agile methodologies to help our clients to solve their pain points and make sure that whatever is difficult in their business process is made simple and easy. That's what we do. We don't do anything more than that. So thank you very much. I think it's automatically being recorded. So yeah, it should stay on YouTube, I guess. Yes, it should stay on YouTube. So guys, can you confirm you can still hear me audibly and you can see my screen so that I'm sure I'm not losing you? Olaleke, welcome. Yusuf, welcome. Abraham, welcome. Felix, welcome. So confirm you can still see my screen and my audio is still very clear and loud. So let me go ahead. I talked about who we are, IT Skill Center. We build mobile and web apps that work. What we build works in IT Skill Center. And what do we do? What are our services? We do software development, we do software maintenance, we do software training, we do staff outsourcing. So we have a lot of people like you or yourself that we train. At the end of the training, we try to outsource. We try to look for job for you. We try to make sure we pair you with our partner companies. We try to pair you with people that are looking for developers. Sometimes because we do a lot of projects ourselves, like you already saw, number one on our list is software development. Because we build a lot of applications ourselves, most of our clients, when we are done building, they want to have in-house developers that maintain those applications for them. So we can, recommend you or outsource you to them to keep on maintaining those applications that we have built. So that's how it works. So those are our services. You already know that. So how do we work in IT skills? So we start from requirement gathering. These are some of the things you should know. That's why I'm taking a bit of time to go into them, because as a software developer, you need to know how software development works. What do they do in a software company? And if you are not used to it, if you have not heard this before, I think these are basics and foundational knowledge that you should have. And that's why I'm taking time to go through this. So how do we work at IT Skills? What are our required processes that will take a project or an application through? The first step in every software development process is called requirement gathering, right? And requirement gathering simply means that we go to the client's office or we go to the client's location, and we tend to do a survey or a research and find out exactly what the client wants to build. We can talk to the potential users of the application, we can rub minds with the potential users, we can rub mind with the product owner or the client himself, kind of get into their mind, get into their head, know exactly the vision they have and what they want to solve, the pain problem they have and what they want to solve. That's requirement gathering. That's the first thing we do, and we do this all the time. And the next step, once we've gathered the requirement gathering, we've gathered a lot of data, and we've at the end of that process, at the end of step one, what we will come up with is what we call the software requirement specification document, right? So that's what we come out with. So once we have that document, which is called the SRS, the software requirement specification document, once you have that document, then what you do next is to go to the planning stage, where we then try to plan how do we implement or build this application, right? So we break down the project into sprints, we break it down into tasks and modules, and then into sizable chunks that a developer can work on, and something that a project manager or a product owner can follow through, right? Something that a tester can test. So that happens all in the planning process. So I want you to get used to these terminologies, right? Especially if you are not in the tech space and this is the first time that you are coming into the tech world, right? So maybe you are just coming into the tech world from a teaching job, or maybe from accounting, or for whatever space or industry you are coming into the tech, world from. I'm taking my time to walk you through this process so that you get, this is like the soft landing for you to get used to what is happening in the software environment or the software development company, right? So, like I said, the first stage is requirement gathering. After the requirement gathering, the output of that requirement gathering is a document called the software requirement specification document, which is more like a project brief that detailed exactly the vision of the client and the problem they want to solve and how to solve it. So the planning stage, we go with that document to the planning stage, and we tend to break down the project into sizable chunks that a developer can work on. And usually we call something sprints, and sprints are just you break down the project into modules, and then you take each module in a particular sprint and you build them. So you can say, for example, the authentication module is what we do in week one or in sprint one. We're going to go to the user module in sprint two. We're going to look at the customer module in sprint three, and all of that, and so forth and so on. So that's how it works. So you do all the planning in stage two, and once you're done with the planning, you send more like a timeline to the client, and then you guys sign off on the time, right? So you have a timeline, you have the document, and then you go to the step three, where you do the design, right? The design is more like the UI UX design. The UI UX design is simply a prototype of what the actual app will look like eventually when it's done. Because you don't just go straight to building. Most Nigerian developers, what they do is that they don't go through this, this software requirement process that I'm showing you. So a client comes to someone and say, "Oh, I want a website," and then he just describes the website verbally, and then the next thing is asking, right on the same call, without any requirement gathering, without any planning, you just ask the guy, I want a website. This is what I'm thinking my website should look like. It looks like Jumia. How much will it cost? How long will it take for you to do it? And then if you are not a professional developer, and then you two just look at it, oh, it's Jumia website. How long will it take to do Jumia website? Okay, maybe I can do it with WordPress. I can do it with WordPress, Abby. I can use WooCommerce. If I use WooCommerce, it will take me 4 days, or it will take me 10 days. Okay, let me charge this guy 500K, or let me charge this guy 1M. All right, whatever. So you come up with that without research, without requirement gathering, without planning, without anything. Usually when you do that, that project will not see the light of the day. I can assure you, I can always bet you. And that's why most Nigerian clients don't trust Nigerian developers, because even Nigerian clients themselves, they don't even know the process that a software needs to go through. So they put you in a box, they force you to give timeline and estimate, cost estimate without planning, without anything. And you too will go ahead and give that. And then at the end of the day, you will now realize that at the end of 2 weeks, you will now realize that 2 weeks is too short, because you have not developed, you have not been able to produce what you are expected to produce in 2 weeks. So what I'm saying is that these steps I'm showing you is very critical to any software development that will work. If you want your software to work, or you want your mobile application to work, you need to take that application through these 6 steps, right? You need to take it through these 6 steps. So let's go back to step 3. I was talking about the design, the UI UX design, right? And UI UX design is just simply what the user will interact with. Is the user interaction and user interface. That's what UI UX means. UI means user interface, UX means user interaction. And it's simply what the application will look like before you actually start writing the first line of code. So you need to take that software requirement specification document to a UI UX designer and a UX a product designer, who then come up with a prototype using Figma, using Sketch, using Adobe SD, or whatever application he knows how to use. And then you can come up with a prototype, give it back to the client. The client looks at this Figma design, he falls in love with it, it gives you feedback, it gives you a bit of critiques, and then you can go back and flesh it out, and then you finalize that and sign off on the design. I can bet you that if your client has not seen a prototype, and they have not signed off on a prototype of your application, and you go ahead and just build the application without them seeing a prototype, usually there will be a lot of back and forth, and you will end up spending more time and more money to build an application than you probably estimated at the beginning. So you want to do a design first and take that design to the client and make sure they sign off on on the design before you move to development. So let me just rush through this. I think I've spent so much time on this. This is not why we are here, but I just want to show you some of these processes so that it becomes a software. At least you have learned one or two things on this call before we go to the roadmap. So after the design, you go to development. That is where everybody here, most likely on this call, wants to fall into. So you go into the development stage, where a developer then works on it in any language of his choice. When it's done developing, or as he's actually developing, then a tester, a software tester, is most likely writing what we call automated test cases, right? It might be using Cypress, Selenium, or any of the software testing tools out there. You can use Selenium, Cypress. There's so many of them, right? You can start writing unit tests, modular testings, automated testing, and all of that. Then after the testing is done, the application is deployed into a hosting server. It could be a cloud server, it could be a shared server, it could be a dedicated server, a VPS, right? Irrespective of whatever server, the application is deployed and hosted. It comes live online, and then you can move the project into a maintenance mode where you constantly iterate, get feedback from your customers, and maintain the application. So let me leave that there. That's how we work in IT Skill Center, and we follow the process, through it. That's some of the things I'm showing you this because you need to know how we work, and these are the things that we will be teaching you as a global competitive software developer, because we are not training you to just build applications in Nigeria. You should be able to bid for jobs on Upwork. You should be able to bid for jobs on freelancer.com or Fiverr. You should be able to even apply for a foreign gig and get that gig. Why? Because you know the standard design process that any application globally should go through. You are not a Nigerian developer, you are a global qualified developer, right? Or a software engineer. That's our aim. That's what we want to give you guys. So we're not just training you to know how to do WordPress or to know how to do one quick website. No, we are not training quacks here. We're training software engineers. So you need to know the standard, globally acceptable software development process. That's why I'm taking my time over all of this. So this is our design process, right? But I'm going to just skim through that. I've said all of this. These are the things I've explained so far. These are some of the applications we've built in the past. It's just a few of them. So some of the most recent ones. Ruby Core Banking is a fintech application. 12 app is a web application and a mobile app. We have a Finvest app. We have the Standard Life Organization app. We have the Delivery Queue app. We have some of our clients that we've worked with recently or in the past. Career Body 12S, BLs, Springwaters, FCMB, Mutual Benefits, Lofty Heights, AGS, all of them. So Let's go to some of our team members, some of the people we'll be working with when you join us or when we start the training. We have Adebayo there, we have Samuel, we have Prince, our PM, we have the software tester, we have the UI UX designer, we have a back-end developer, front-end developer, mobile app developers, we have senior dev, and so on. So that's one of our guys. So let's quickly dive straight into the roadmap. Guys, can you confirm you can still hear me? I believe you can still hear me clearly. So let's dive straight into the roadmap. This is the reason why we are here. And you need to pay attention now because this is the cross of today's meeting. So step 1 to 4 are the steps that you need to go through to be able to get into our boot camp. Like I said, our boot camp starts in November. This is August. We have September, the whole of September and the whole of October to prepare for the boot camp kicking off in November. And that's why we are starting early because we want you to get into this boot camp. We want you to get into this boot camp. It's very important for us and yourself to get into this boot camp, right? So we are spending time, at least 2 months. We're spending 2 months of preparation to prepare you for the boot camp kicking off in November. And what are the things you need to know? The first step is that we are doing a town hall meeting where we are introducing you to ourselves, we are introducing you to the program, and also we are introducing you to what will happen in the coming weeks. So that's step 1. Step 1, town hall meeting is happening today, 29th of August. And then the next step in under step 1 is the HTML CSS class that is going to happen from the 3rd of September to the 14th of September. So I am very sure that some of you, it's possible that some of you already know HTML, CSS, but I can guarantee you that that has happened over and over again in the batch B, in the batch A, and the previous batches that we've hosted. People always say, "I know HTML. I've learned it in this place. I learned it online. I've done a bit of stuff in CSS and all of that." Fine. Even if you know HTML, CSS, I can guarantee you that you need to join this class because it's a whole lot more advanced than what you know, right? So don't assume that what you know in HTML, CSS is enough, and then you just say, "Oh, I know HTML. Why would they be teaching me HTML?" I can guarantee you that people have come before you and they've said that, and they don't know what they think they know. So HTML, CSS is happening 3rd of September to 14th of September. We're going to give you the breakdown of what day of the week is going to happen. But that's after we get a survey. So there's going to be a survey that we're going to take at the end of this call. So we're going to drop the link in the group. You actually have to take that survey at the end of this call so that we can know exactly the best time to schedule those online classes happening for HTML, CSS. So, but put in your calendar now, if you are working somewhere, maybe you are a worker somewhere, you are working 9 to 5 currently, you need to be able to attend these classes. So please, please, please mark on your calendar that HTML, CSS is happening 12th to 14th of September. And after that HTML, CSS class, we're going to get projects that you're supposed to work on to prove that you've learned these things, right? So please, a quick note: you need to subscribe to our channel right now. I have about 17 of you on this call, so please hit the subscribe button right there below. Just hit the subscribe button now. Now, don't postpone it. Just hit the button now and like this video so that other people can get to see it. Right. So let me move on. So like I said, after the HTML CSS class, we are going to get projects. You're going to get 3 projects actually. We're going to be working on 3 projects during this period, and you need to be able to finish those 3 projects within the period. So step 2, we're going to go straight into JavaScript between 17th and 30th of September. Why are we doing this before the bootcamp? People have asked that question almost all the time. Why are we not waiting to the bootcamp? Because the bootcamp is not meant for beginners. Let me say that again. Let me say this again. Bootcamp is not meant for beginners. When they say something is boot camp means it's a crashed program. 6 months might look like a long time, but I can assure you that for what you want to learn, during the boot camp, is 6 months is too short. So we cannot get to boot camp and start talking about HTML. It's a waste of time and it's going to delay everybody and slow everybody down. So we don't revisit HTML, CSS, and we will not revisit HTML, CSS during the bootcamp. So you need to already know it. So if you are new to these things, and even if you already know them, you need to bring them back to your memory. Some of you have learned HTML, CSS, maybe some last year, 2 years ago. You've learned it sometimes before and all of that. You need to join this class so that we can revisit it. Everybody is on the same page and you know HTML. You like, if they wake you up at night and say design this landing page, you can do it without thinking twice. That is the expectation we have for you to before you get to the bootcamp, right? So you need to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript like the back of your hand. So that's why we are doing this, before the bootcamp. And also, JavaScript is a prerequisite for you to be admitted into the bootcamp. Let me say that again. JavaScript is a prerequisite for you to be admitted into the bootcamp. Why? Because most of the technologies you'll be learning, most of the programming language that will be taking you at the bootcamp is purely based on JavaScript. So you're going to be learning React Native, for example, for mobile app development. You're going to be learning React JS. You're going to be learning Node.js. Whatever you are learning literally is a JavaScript framework. So you need to be sound in JavaScript. And JavaScript, for those who have not seen JavaScript before, or if this is your first time, JavaScript is very, very simple. It's very, very easy. All you need is practice. All you need is practice. And that is why these 2 months, September and October, is very important for you if you want to get into this bootcamp. Why? Because you need to practice, you need to dedicate time, and you need to prepare yourself to ensure that JavaScript is something you have already mastered before November. Right, so that's step two. Step three is simple. Step three is assessment and interview. So when you're done with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, we will conduct an assessment for you, an interview. So you're going to we're going to design we're going to do a small task basically on a live call. So everybody will pick their preferred date and time, and we're going to schedule a call with you where you will come on a live call like this and you share your screen and then you will do that task. So we're going to give you a question, maybe design something, write a small JavaScript code, and all of that. You're going to do it on a live call. We will be watching your screen while you are typing. So that is the assessment and the interview, and then we'll ask you some other basic questions. So you need to be able to do that and pass that stage. Then on the 13th of October, we're going to do our selection after every one of you have, done the assessment and the live coding on the call. We do our selection, we pick the people we want to select for the physical bootcamp, and then we release our admission list by 15th of October, which is the step 4 and the final step, and then resumption. People by 15th October, everybody should already know those who will be coming to the physical camp, and some people might opt in for online bootcamp. We get to know those who want to do online bootcamp because this year we are doing both the physical bootcamp and the online bootcamp kicking off November. So some people will opt in for online, some people will opt in for physical bootcamp. So you can decide which one you want to go for, but you need to scale through either physical or online. You need to scale through all of these steps 1 to 3 that I have mentioned earlier. So this is the rundown of this program, and you need to please pay attention because if you are really serious with your career in tech and you want to do a change of career, and in 12 months time you want to be able to look back and say, yes, I paid the price, I put in the effort, and now I'm working with Microsoft, I'm working with Google, I'm working with this company, I'm working with OPay, I'm working with Paystack, I'm working with Flutterwave or whatever. You can look back and say, yes, I did what is required to get this done. So I don't want you to postpone. I don't want you to say this is hard or this is difficult or I can't do this. No, people have done it in the past. I showed you people that have graduated in April. You saw ladies there, so you don't say I'm a lady, I can't do this, or don't say I'm working, I'm a working class, I don't have time. Except you don't have passion for this, or except you are not really serious about your change of career. So if you really want to change your career and you want to start earning in dollars, from foreign gigs, or you want to start earning in good naira, because people are earning 100,000 every month, and people are earning 300, 400. So it depends on your choice, what you want to earn. But you are the one at the driver's seat, and you control your future. So, just some of the projects that you will be doing during the practice time or during the course of the 2 months, or let me say, the HTML CSS class. So I'm showing you this so that you can prepare your mind because it's going to be fun. So I'm just kind of giving you expectations so that you know that you don't need to miss any of these classes. And that's why you need to take that survey at the end of this course so that we can know the best time for everyone to be able to participate. So everyone on this course should be able to design a Google page, this Google landing page. You should be able to design it after the HTML CSS class, right? even though we might practice it together in class, but on your own, after I'm done showing you how to design this on the call during the HTML, CSS classes, you should be able to replicate this and design it following my own, following the way I've taught you, you know. So I'm going to teach you how to do this, explaining grid, explaining flexbox, explaining all the CSS, you know, principles around designing something like this, border radius, you know, colors and all of that. So after I've taught you that, you need to be able to do this. So this is one of the projects you'll be building. You also be building the Facebook landing page. So you should be able to also build this with your HTML, CSS knowledge. So if you already claim that you know HTML, CSS, you can start practicing with these pages already and challenge yourself. If you don't already, this is your first time just coming into tech and you don't know HTML before now, don't worry. This is very easy. When I teach you and I'm done teaching you, you will be able to design these pages. So just follow the classes. Don't miss any class. I'm begging you. Don't miss any class. That's why you should take the survey at the end of this course so that we can plan for you and make sure that we give you the best time that will suit your schedule. So don't miss any class. So you should be able to design this at the end of our HTML CSS class. And the final page that we'll be designing during our HTML CSS class and our JavaScript class is this Google page. This is the most challenging of all the pages and actually is the easiest. All right, so we're going to design this page, and by the time we're done with this page, at that point, I'm sure you must have learned JavaScript. And so because you've learned JavaScript, you should be able to do some basic API calls that will fetch the content of this page. So it's amazing that in the space of 6 weeks from now, from now to 6 weeks from now, you will be amazed at how much you will have learned from us, you know, within the space of 6 weeks, even before the bootcamp, such that even if you don't make it into the bootcamp, you will already have surpassed some persons that did not attend this call or did not join this 6 weeks preliminary stage of our bootcamp, right? So this preliminary stage alone is enough to just prepare some people or, you know, to jumpstart them into tech already. So whether you are going to make it into the bootcamp or not, I'm telling you, I'm promising you that if you don't miss any of our classes in these preliminary stages, you know, to qualify for the bootcamp, if you don't miss any of our classes and you learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript from us, you'll be amazed at how much you can do already, even before you get into the bootcamp. So that is the summary. Thank you very much for listening, and we've come to the end of our online meeting. So I want to just give some questions now. If I want to take some questions, you can drop your questions in the chat box, and then Banji, you can drop the link in the WhatsApp group. So for those that will be watching this call after on YouTube, I want you to check the description section. You will see our chat, the WhatsApp chat link, so that you can join our chat link, our WhatsApp group, so that you can join this program if you want to also participate and you are watching this video all by yourself. Maybe you just saw it on YouTube. Then you can take the survey too, so that we can know exactly how to take you in. So click on the WhatsApp join group on the description below, and also, you know, click on the survey form. So thank you very much, guys. This is our roadmap, and this is our introduction to IT Skills Center bootcamp for 2022 November batch. Guys, you can drop your questions if you have any questions for me before I end the video. So I'll just give some, because I know there's a bit of a delay in YouTube, maybe about 2-3 minutes delay. I'm going to wait for 2-3 minutes more to get questions from you guys. So drop questions in the chat box right now. Drop it in the chat box right now. So I'm expecting questions, guys. I'm waiting for questions. Is there any question? Okay, so for the cost, okay, so let me start with Kingsley's question. Kingsley says, what is the educational qualification for the bootcamp, right? So what's the educational qualification for the bootcamp? There is no qualification for the bootcamp, really. We've had people that are OND, HND graduates coming, right? So, but what is important is that you need to be available to you need to be available to start working after the boot camp is over, because the essence of the boot camp is such that we can you can take on all of this knowledge and then you can start earning some income after. So if you are still a student, maybe because of strike you want to come attend the boot camp, I wouldn't advise you come for the physical boot camp. Maybe you can opt in for the online bootcamp so that if they call off the strike at any point in time, you can easily go back to school and not truncate your bootcamp program. So the physical bootcamp is advisable for those who are ready to start working with the knowledge they've gained at the bootcamp. So people that are currently working who are willing to resign and come for physical bootcamp, yes. People who are already graduates who are looking for a job, yes. People who are OND holders, HND holders, yes. As long as you have the time to take 6 months off and then you are ready to start working after 6 months, you are qualified. So there is no educational qualification in that sense, but there is a qualification in the sense that you need to be able to create 6 months space. You need a 6 month space of time, and you need to be able to you need to be ready to work after. So that's that for Kingsley. Then the next question, kindly talk about the cost if someone wants to pay upfront. Yes, it's the cost for the physical bootcamp is 1 million, right? The cost for the physical bootcamp is 1 million. You can pay upfront for that, but you can also pay in installments. Most of our students pay in installments, so they don't pay at once. So we allow up to 3 installments if you are doing self-funding, right? If you are doing self-funding, we allow for up to 3 installments. Yeah, for kindly tell us the available method of tuition payments. I've already said that there is self-funding and there is pay later. So pay later, self-funding is clear. Self-funding is self-funding. You want to pay for yourself, you can use an installment payment method, and there is pay later. Pay later is simply the fact that you want to learn now and pay after you've gotten a job. It's not a loan, right? It's a debt. It's not a loan. So we don't call it a student loan like Decagon or the other brands, right? It's not a student loan because you are not taking a loan from a bank in that sense. It's not like a bank is borrowing you money. So it's simply a debt. It's more like we are giving you a service upfront and you are paying us after 6 months, right? So you are paying us later. So it's a debt that you're going to sign a contract with. You're going to sign a contract with us saying you are owing us X amount of money. You can write a post-dated check. Your guarantors can write a post-dated check for us, such that after 6 months, when you get a job, the check we can go and clear the check. So it's a debt, right? It's a pay later method. So there is a self-funding method and there is a pay later method. That's for Chima. I'm okay. Are we paying for the camp? Yeah, like I just explained. So there are two payment options for the boot camp, right? So you can pay now, you can pay later. What is the period of the boot camp? It's 6 months. The period of the boot camp is 6 months. It's very simple. A 6 months program starting November 2022. Kingsley said again, how do the student loan works? I've already explained that it's not a student loan. It is a pay later method. So it's not necessarily a student loan. It's a pay later. So you pay after the boot camp. So it's a debt. We are renting you. It's just like you are buying Gary on credit. So you are getting the service on credit so that you can pay later. So the contract you are signing with us is not a loan contract with a bank. It is a credit, sort of a credit facility, right? We're giving you credit. We're giving you service on credit, and you are indebted to pay back after 6 months, right? Yeah, so that's it. So no more questions. Thank you very much. I think there is no more question here. In the absence of no other question, you can drop any other question you have on the WhatsApp group. We'll be glad to answer you. But forget about the boot camp first. Boot camp is in November, right? So what's important is that you focus on even the classes that we are having right now, because you're not sure whether you even get into the boot camp in the first place. So focus on participating in the classes right now. Ensure that you scale through. Ensure that you learn as much as you want to learn right now and follow through, right? So take the benefit of the current classes that are going on, and then you can then plan for the bootcamp. Thank you very much, and lovely night rest. We can continue the conversation on WhatsApp. Thank you very much. Bye.